silent road can feel peaceful, like the world has slowed down just for you. That was exactly how it felt for Arham on the night everything changed. It was almost midnight, and the sky was quiet, covered with thin clouds that hid the moon. The long highway outside the city was empty, with only the soft hum of his car and the steady beat of his heart keeping him company. He had been driving for hours, heading back home after a tiring day. His eyes felt heavy, and his thoughts kept drifting away from the road. He wanted to reach home quickly, but he didn't realize that the silence around him was not safety. It was a warning. Arham had always been careful. His friends used to tease him for driving too slow. But that night, he felt different. Maybe it was the long day. Maybe it was the silence that gave him too much space to think. Or maybe it was the message he kept waiting for, the one that never arrived. His phone was placed beside him, screen down, but every second it stayed silent made him more restless. He told himself he wouldn't touch it while driving. But small temptations often grow when no one is around to stop us. The road stretched endlessly ahead, straight and calm. The headlights cut through the darkness, showing only what was necessary. No cars, no people, no noise, just Arham, his thoughts, and the empty highway. He tried keeping his mind busy. He played music, but it didn't help. He rolled the window down, letting the cold wind hit his face, hoping it would wake him up. Still, his eyes kept drifting to his phone. He wondered if he missed a message. He wondered if someone tried to call. He wondered if something important had happened. After another long minute, he gave in. He picked up his phone. Just for a second, he told himself. Just one quick glance. The screen lit up, the glow filling the quiet darkness of the car. No notifications, nothing new. A simple screen. But the moment stretched longer, and his eyes stayed on the phone just a little too long. When he finally lifted his eyes back to the road, something caught his attention. At first, he wasn't even sure what he was seeing. It looked like a shadow moving across the pavement. Then it became clear. A small car was stopped ahead, parked almost in the middle of the road. Its hazard lights were blinking, weak and slow, almost fading in and out. Arham reacted instantly. He hit the brakes hard. His heart jumped. The car swerved. The tires screeched against the road, fighting to grip the asphalt. The world seemed to spin. The peaceful road turned into a nightmare of panic and noise. Arham's breathing tightened. His hands shook on the steering wheel. His car slid sideways, the back end losing control. For a moment, he couldn't tell which direction he was facing. Then came a heavy thud. His car hit the side rail of the road, the impact pushing him forward against the seatbelt. It wasn't loud, but it was strong enough to send shock through his body. The car shook, then slowly came to a stop, tilted slightly to the side. Silence returned, but it wasn't peaceful anymore. It was heavy, sharp, filled with fear. Arham sat there stunned, staring at the steering wheel. His heart pounded, loud enough to echo in his ears. His fingers felt numb. He tried to breathe, but every breath came out shaky. For a moment, he couldn't move, couldn't think. Then he looked up and saw the parked car again. It was still there, the hazard lights still blinking weakly. And next to it, a man stood on the side of the road, holding a small flashlight. He looked shocked, frozen in place, staring at Arham's car as if he couldn't believe what just happened. Arham struggled to open his door. His legs trembled as he stepped out. The cold wind hit him again, but this time it didn't help. He still felt dizzy. "Are you okay?" the man called out. Arham nodded slowly, though he wasn't sure if he truly was. He walked toward him carefully, his steps uneven. The man looked relieved, but still shaken. "I'm so sorry," Arham said quietly. His voice felt weak. "I didn't see your car. My tire burst," the man explained. "I stopped to check it." I thought the hazard lights would be enough. Arham looked at the car. The angle, the darkness, the weak lights, it made sense. The car was hard to see until you were close. But Arham knew the truth. He should have seen it earlier. He would have, if he hadn't looked at his phone. He swallowed hard, his chest tight with guilt. "I'm really sorry," Arham repeated. The man shook his head. "It's okay. You didn't hit me. And you're not hurt. That's what matters." But Arham didn't feel okay. He felt the weight of what almost happened. A few seconds more, a little more speed, and the story would have been different. He glanced back at his own car. The front was damaged, the right side badly dented. He could see broken pieces scattered on the road, but he didn't care about the damage. The only thing he cared about was the mistake that caused it. The man helped him check the car. They moved slowly, both still shaken. Arham could feel the world around him again. The cold air, the quiet night, the distant sound of cicadas. Everything felt too real, too sharp. After making sure everything was safe, they moved both cars to the side of the road. The man called for help, and Arham waited beside him. Neither of them spoke for a long time. The silence was different now. It wasn't peaceful. It was the kind of silence that follows fear, the kind that makes you rethink every decision. Arham kept replaying the moment in his mind. A quick glance at the phone, the shadow on the road, the sudden panic, the crash. It all happened so fast, but in his memory, it stretched long and painfully slow. When the rescue team arrived, they checked both cars, asked questions, and made sure no one was injured. They spoke to Arham gently, but firmly, reminding him how dangerous distraction could be, especially on an empty road. Arham nodded each time, but the words weren't new to him. He already understood. The lesson was carved into his mind now, sharp and unforgettable. After everything was settled, Arham sat inside the rescue vehicle, waiting for the tow truck. He stared out the window at the dark road. The same road that felt safe just an hour ago now felt like a warning. The man approached him one last time before leaving. "Accidents happen," he said softly. "But you're lucky. Learn from it." Arham nodded again, but this time his eyes were filled with emotion. "I will," he whispered. When he finally reached home, the sky was beginning to lighten with the early morning glow. But Arham felt heavy, tired, changed. He walked inside quietly, sat on his bed, and held his phone in his hands. The same phone that stole a few seconds of his attention. The same phone that nearly cost him his life and someone else's. He placed it on the table, screen down. He realized something important that night. The road had been silent, but his mistake had been loud enough to shake his entire life. Loud enough to remind him that no message, no notification, no call was worth risking a life for. The silence of the road had fooled him into thinking he had control. But control disappears the moment you look away. Days passed, but the memory stayed with him. The sudden shadow, the panic, the crash, the man's frightened face. He remembered everything clearly, as if it happened only moments ago. And every time he got into a car after that night, he felt the weight of the lesson. He drove slower. He kept both hands on the wheel. He didn't touch his phone, not even at red lights. If he needed it, he stopped the car and then checked it. He told himself he would never let silence fool him again. Because danger doesn't always shout. Sometimes it waits quietly, hiding on a road that seems harmless. One evening, weeks later, Arham met the same man again by coincidence at a small roadside cafe. They recognized each other instantly. After a moment of surprise, they both smiled. It was a quiet smile, a knowing smile, the smile of two people who had shared a frightening moment and walked away from it alive. "I'm glad you're okay," the man said. "You too," Arham replied. They sat together for a few minutes, talking about life, work, and the things that matter. The conversation was simple, but Arham felt grateful. He realized how different things could have been, how one mistake could have changed both their lives forever. When they parted ways, the man placed a hand on Arham's shoulder. "Take care on the roads," he said. Arham nodded. "Always." That night, as Arham drove home again, he noticed the same peaceful silence on the road. But this time, he didn't mistake silence for safety. He kept his eyes on the road, his mind alert, his hands steady. The quiet didn't tempt him anymore, it warned him. He understood now that a silent road doesn't mean nothing can happen. It means you must be even more careful, because danger can appear without a sound, and a single mistake can echo loudly through the rest of your life. In the end, the moral was clear to him. No matter how empty the road looks, no matter how quiet your surroundings feel, your full attention belongs to the journey. A silent road can hide danger, but a loud mistake can change everything. Stay focused, stay aware, and never let a small distraction take away something you can never replace, your life or someone else's.